And this is the ACC on ESPN. 16th meeting all time between the U and the U of L. Miami leads 11-3-1. They first met back in 1933. Tyler Van Dyke did not play in that game. Louisville chance to make even more history. They've never won here. Jeff Brom said he didn't realize that till earlier in the week. The Cardinals are 0-6-1 playing at Miami. The one tie was back in 1950. They've played 3 times since Louisville joined the ACC in 2014. Matter of fact, it was Louisville's first ACC game in 14, a win over Miami. In Louisville, Miami has won the last 2. Here in 2019, in Louisville in 2020. Jeff Brom won the toss. He deferred. And Travelstead's kickoff returned to the 23-yard line by Brashard Smith. So Tyler Van Dyke is back. Molly McGrath.
Yeah, that's right, Sean. And Tyler Van Dyke really won over his team with his response to last week's benching. In a leadership meeting on Monday, he took ownership for his poor play and promised to be better and to have more fun out there. And wide receiver Jacoby George told us that you wouldn't expect this kind of passion and energy from someone who just lost his starting job to a freshman. He said, we can all feel there's something different about Tyler this week. It lit a fire under him, and we have full trust in our quarterback. Guys.
Junior from Glastonbury, Connecticut. Primary start of the last 2 years. Given a good pocket. He takes off running and dives to the 30 for a gain of 7 on the first play from scrimmage. He was one of the best quarterbacks in the country, as you said, Greg, at the start of the year when they went off to a 4-0 record in a top 20 ranking. But the last 5, including that brief appearance at the end of last week's game, 11 interceptions, one of those at desperation time in Tallahassee last Saturday. Mark Fletcher is the freshman running back, hit behind the line of scrimmage by Jalen Alderman. The linebacker for Louisville, one of the best defensive teams in the country, giving up 17 points per game, 12th best in the nation.
And they are excellent against the run. Just 92 yards a game given up on the ground. That's in the top 10 defensively across the country. And on first down, Van Dyke already showing some of that decisiveness that he has to show today, taking off. Not something he does very often if nothing's there.
They put Brashard Smith in as the Wildcat quarterback. Direct snap to him, and he got rocked. Louisville ready for it, stuffed it for a loss of a foot or 2. And Miami will send the punt team on after a quick 3-and-out.
And it's Ben Perry unblocked on the right side. The pulling guards cannot get around. That was totally disrupted up front by the defensive line. Ben Perry makes the play at the line of scrimmage and forces the 3-and-out.
Dylan Joyce on to punt. True freshman from Australia. And Kevin Coleman back deep. Line drive kick caught at the 27. And a 4-yard return for Coleman. So here's Jack Plummer. They haven't asked him to do a lot lately. Senior quarterback from Gilbert, Arizona. First year at Louisville. Was with Jeff Brom for 4 years at Purdue. Started 13 games there. Last year at Cal, where he was the starter. And went 4-8. Now here at Louisville. Trying to take them to the ACC title game for the first time. As we said, they've been pounding the run the last 3 games. Better than 2-to-1 run to pass ratio, and as a result they've turned it over only 1 time in the last 3. Jawar Jordan driven back after a 2-yard pickup. Here's Molly.
Well, Sean, Louisville's 2 most explosive players, Jawar Jordan and wide receiver Jamari Thrash, battling injuries. Jordan sustained a knee injury a couple weeks ago, told us he's still dealing with lingering pain and soreness, but it doesn't limit his movement. And Thrash recovering from a left hand injury. Looks like there's some extra pad in his left glove to help with some pain he's experiencing.
Yeah, as you know from talking to Thrash, it hurts every time that ball hits him in the left hand. He's been wearing that extra padding. Nate Kariski, the tight end, with the catch. And Greg, that's big because Their playmakers on offense far and away are Jordan, with more help lately from Garendo, and Thrash at wide receiver.
And Thrash is excellent with the ball in his hands after the catch, but he has had some drops recently. You have to assume that that injury to his hand has factored into some of the inconsistency catching the football.
They go to the pistol with Jawar Jordan, still the running back. They faked it to him. Wide open, Amari Huggins-Bruce. He's one of those they think can provide more help out wide in support of Plummer and Thrash. That's an 18-yard gain.
And a lot of what Louisville is going to have to do defensively is misdirection. It's a very aggressive Miami defense, and they have good speed at wide receiver. They get Huggins-Bruce across the line of scrimmage, hit him in the flat for a nice gain.
18 yards. Huggins-Bruce has great speed. They'll try to get him deep today. Here's Thrash. Transfer from Georgia State, first year at Louisville. Cameron Kitchens, the fine safety, made the tackle. An impressive opening possession for the Cardinals.
A team that's really relied heavily on the run game, as you referenced, Sean. Here, 3 consecutive passes after a first down run by Jordan. Understanding the strength of Miami's defense is up the middle. It's tough to run the ball against the Canes, but their corners have been at times susceptible through the air.
Pistol with Jordan, the running back. And he fights for one. Wesley Bissaint, one of their linebackers, made the tackle. Jordan averaging 6.9 yards per carry to lead the ACC. Great combination of speed and power. He can run inside or out. 3rd down and 2. There's Lance Guidry, the defensive coordinator for Miami. In his first season, Jeff Brom, the head coach, calls the plays for Louisville. Huggins-Bruce in motion again. They swing it out to him, and he slips and falls. And the ball came out, but they're going to rule it a catch. And the ball came out after contact with the ground. It's a loss. That was a promising play because Huggins-Bruce, with that speed, had a lot of room if he was able to catch the ball and run. We had a little bit of light rain this morning that might be a factor on this grass field.
Yeah, and ball was a little bit off the mark there too, just a little bit low. Huggins-Bruce had to stop and unfortunately loses his footing, and it results in a negative play.
They might review this to see if it was in fact a catch.
The catch down by contact. Previous play is under further review.
And it's big. Actually, Louisville's hoping that it goes to an incomplete pass because they'll pick up 3 yards and make it a little bit easier field goal for Brock Travelstead. While they look at it in the booth, we'll step aside. Louisville and Miami just underway here in South Florida. Decision to make now. The replay booth overturned the call on the field, ruled this an incomplete pass, which looked to be the correct call. You can see Huggins-Bruce kind of loses it there, and it hits the ground before he gets both hands back on it. So it works for Louisville that they get the 3 yards they lost back. And instead of kicking the field goal, now the offense is on the field on 4th down and 2.
And they have not been a team that goes for it a lot on 4th down. They don't use analytics the way some other teams do. Just 13 attempts this year, and 7 of those were in the 4th quarter of football games. So a little out of character for the Cards.
Plummer went under center. They blitzed him. He throws it deep down the field and caught inside the 10. Nate Kariski for 23 yards on 4th and 2. Great call by Coach Brom.
And they try to go with a little spider 2-Y banana. It's good pressure off the edge by Williams. Forces Plummer to retreat. Throws it off his back foot. But Kariski goes up and makes a nice play on the underthrown deep ball.
Interesting decision to go for it, too, because one of the things Jeff Brom told us yesterday is he wants to get a lead early in the game. He felt that was very important. Of course, the 3 wasn't a given. It would have been about a 49-yard field goal. Here's Jawar Jordan down to the 2. They've been a phenomenal first quarter team. Louisville has outscored its opponents 76-7 in the first quarter. The only touchdown by Pittsburgh and the only loss of the year for the Cardinals.
That's a testament to Jeff Brom and his staff. They have a great plan, great opening script, both offensively and defensively. And they do adjust accordingly. They do a great job in the second half as well, but excellent on the first half as Brian Brom, brother of Jeff Brom, the offensive coordinator, looks on.
Offers plenty of help for Jeff on the play calling. 9th play of this drive. Play fake by Plummer and a touchdown. Nate Kariski, the unlikely star of that opening drive. He had 3 catches, including the touchdown. He had 7 receptions all season entering today, and the touchdown is his 2nd of the year.
And a very similar play than what they just ran a moment ago to Amari Huggins-Bruce, but this time it's Kariski in big personnel, wide open in the flat, and an easy pitch and catch for the touchdown.
And Brock Travelstead, the extra point. 69 yards, 9 plays. 3 catches by Kariski, and the touchdown for the sophomore from Washington, D.C. 7-0 Louisville.
Use as directed. And in part by Chick-fil-A. Cater the holidays with a Chick-fil-A Nuggets tray. Order it on the Chick-fil-A app today.
Howard Schnellenberger, coach at both Miami and Louisville, and the winner of this game gets the Howard Schnellenberger trophy, and those are actual boots he used to wear that are bronzed. So, Sean, you could slip your feet into those bad boys. Those are real boots.
Yeah. Must have been hard for him to walk around in those. Made of bronze.
Heavy.
They were donated by his wife Beverly. I know both schools appreciate it. Here's Kevin Nagandi.
Sean, good afternoon. Time now for our All-State Good Hands play of the day. Let's go to College Station. First game since Texas A&M fired Jimbo Fisher and Boog. Uh-oh, Abilene Christian's defense.
Nice little blitz off the edge. The quarterback doesn't see it, and if only for a split moment, Abilene Christian was up.
Kirby Cohealy to the house, motoring in 51 yards. We're tied at 7 apiece. By the way, Sean, Greg would wear those boots. Trust me.
He might need him. He had a little luggage mishap here this weekend.
It's too soon.
Too soon. There's Mark Fletcher on first down for Miami. And nothing doing against this excellent Louisville defense. Getting more and more attention as the season goes along.
For a long time, that group really flew under the radar. Gelati made some mid-season All-American teams, rightfully so, but collectively they have great depth, and the second level has been a huge surprise for Ron English. That linebacker group was a big question mark coming in, but Quinn and Alderman have been outstanding.
Van Dyke throws it away. That's one of the things they encouraged him to do. We saw him run earlier. It looked like he might run there. He doesn't run very often. They'd like him to do that more often. I thought it was interesting, Greg, what Shannon Dawson, the offensive coordinator, said to us yesterday. He and Mario Cristobal went to Van Dyke during the week and said, okay, what can we do to help you? What is it that we're doing or not doing that would make life easier for you? He said they had a great conversation. They actually took a number of plays out of the playbook that Van Dyke doesn't feel comfortable with. Third down and 10. Some twisting inside for Louisville. They didn't get to the quarterback, and there's Xavier Restrepo with just enough for the first down. He didn't have a catch last week in Tallahassee. That's number 61 to lead the team for the year.
And man coverage from Louisville, and this is going to be a difficult matchup for Louisville all game long. The slot receiver, Restrepo, very quick in open field.
Van Dyke deep down the middle and caught. Jacoby George, an emerging star in recent weeks. All the way to the Cardinals 21.
And the safety inside gets hung on Restrepo underneath, which allows George plenty of speed on the post, and it's a well-thrown ball by Van Dyke for a big completion.
For 43 yards. George, 5 catches for 153 and 2 touchdowns last week against the Seminoles. He was the ACC receiver of the week for the second time this year. Also earned that honor when he had 3 touchdowns in their win against Texas A&M. Big hole and a touchdown. Cameron Kelly couldn't take Fletcher down.
great job on the edge by the Miami tight ends. They go with 2 in the game. Riley Williams and Cam McCormick, they get great blocks up inside. And Fletcher runs through the arm tackle en route to the end zone. Terrific response from the Canes.
He's a true freshman. He's emerged as their starter running back the last couple of weeks. Andy Borregales on for the extra point that would tie it. Back-to-back big plays, the 43-yard pass and a 21-yard touchdown run, as they go 75 yards in just 5 plays. Fletcher, his 3rd touchdown of his Miami career. All season long, student sections across the country competing to be the Taco Bell Live Más Student Section of the Year. Download the Taco Bell app to learn more. They must be graduate students. Actually, the students at the University of Miami have gone on their Thanksgiving break already, so they didn't expect any here today. Of course, one of the challenges of playing in this stadium is that it's about 25 miles from their campus, so ordinarily the students are bused up here to Hard Rock Stadium. So Miami has tied it on a 21-yard touchdown run by Mark Fletcher, just the 4th rush of 20 yards or more given up by Louisville all season. 3rd fewest in the country. UCLA has not given up a rush against them all year of 20 yards or more, and Iowa has given up 1. That's incredible.
That is amazing. Absolutely amazing. UCLA is stout on defense, but my goodness, their offense. Oh boy. Be interesting to see what gives at 3:30 on ABC between USC and UCLA. You got a great offense against a terrible offense, and a great defense against a terrible offense. So it's going to be interesting to see how things go.
They had a ceremony during the timeout honoring some military veterans, and those heroes are clearing the field. So Andy Borregales will kick off. Isaac Guerrero is back deep. He has been a big playmaker in recent weeks. It'll be a touchback. Good start for Louisville quarterback Jack Plummer.
It's clear that Miami was trying to sell out against the run. So what does Louisville do? They go with some play action passing. They get Jack Plummer moving. They get some guys out into the flat. And then on 4th down, they make a nice throw on the spider 2-wide banana to Kariski. And then Kariski finishes it off with another play action pass there in the red zone. A really good start from Jeff Brom and Jack Plummer, who's been very efficient at times off play action. It's when he's in standard drop back, that's where he struggled, and he's off to a nice start today.
Certainly efficient in the play action game today, and as you saw on the bottom of the screen, 14 of his 17 touchdown passes off play action. And here's more of it. They tried to set up a screen, well defended by Miami. So Plummer found a receiver on the near side. It's caught by Thrash. There is a flag thrown near where Thrash caught the ball for a 6-yard gain.
The way that Thrash created that separation might be a push-off offensive pass interference.
An eligible player downfield, number 61, offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
That's the center, Brian Hudson, transfer from Virginia Tech.
With the screen, it's so hard sometimes on those offensive linemen too. You're anticipating that ball being thrown behind the line of scrimmage, so you get downfield, try to execute your block. But when it goes off schedule and Plummer decides to throw it to a regular wide receiver, that's where you can kind of get caught in no man's land.
Isaac Guerrero in at running back now. He scored 4 touchdowns in the last 2 games. He's had some long runs, including the game winner against Virginia. And that screen dropped for a loss by Francisco Maui-Noah. A loss of 1 on the completion to Kevin Coleman.
A great job by Maui-Noah. He sees the right tackle Eric Miller leave. He follows him immediately, takes him straight to Coleman, who's trying to run the tunnel screen back behind it. Just excellent recognition from Maui-Noah, who's really developed into a well-rounded linebacker for Lance Guidry's defense. Very instinctive and has been highly productive, both blitzing and in coverage.
On 2nd and 15, Plummer deep down the field, intercepted. Picked off by Cameron Kitchens.
And Cam Kitchens' eyes are in the backfield the entire way. Plummer looks at the receiver the whole way, takes Kitchens right to it. He's got to get that ball there quicker because Kitchens could get there and cut it off immediately, which is exactly what he does. Excellent eyes by the safety to create the turnover.
And that's what they're hoping to avoid. You mentioned it. Van Dyke's been very mistake prone, but Plummer has been as well, more than the coaches would like. That's why they've run the ball more than twice as much as they've thrown it in the last 3 weeks. And in those 3 games, they had only 1 turnover. It was an interception by Plummer against Virginia that was returned by the Cavs for a touchdown. Flea flicker. Restrepo's open. Inside the 25 and down to the 20.
Aggressive call there by Shannon Dawson. You get immediate sudden change, midfield, great field position. You try to take a shot, nothing's there. You got to trust your quarterback. Doesn't like the post, so he looks outside to his outlet to Restrepo. He holds him up on the back shoulder, and Restrepo makes a nice run after catch. Great decision by Van Dyke.
30-yard gain. Van Dyke's 3 out of 4 for 84 yards. Mark Fletcher, good tackle. Stop him short of the 15-yard line. It was Cameron Kelly, the transfer from North Carolina. Molly?
Sean, this is the most active I've seen Tyler Van Dyke on the sidelines. You mentioned offensive coordinator Shannon Dawson told us he wanted Van Dyke to speak up more. He's been coaching up his receivers all game, telling Brashard Smith, I need you to run harder at the end of that route, telling Xavier Restrepo, I'm going to keep coming to you. This is your day, and you can see that on this drive, Sean.
More than anything, as you know, Molly, the coaches told him, have fun. He gets hit as he throws, and it forced an errant throw. Couple of Cardinals right there. And Van Dyke, you know, it's not a coincidence, I don't think, Greg, that his play fell off late in the year. He's been hit a lot and battling injuries.
Yeah, and this time, TJ Quinn unblocked right around the left guard Cohen and delivers a big shot, which forces the incompletion. Just a throw that was way off the mark as a result of the pressure.
3rd down and 5. Louisville 6th best in the country on 3rd down defense. Their opponents convert just 28% of the time. They rushed only 3. Van Dyke. It is Restrepo's day. Touchdown! Xavier Restrepo.
And this is just a mesh concept. It's very simple. When you get man coverage in the red zone on 3rd down, Restrepo and the other receiver are going to crisscross right in the middle. Restrepo flies out the back door, and then he goes over the top for the touchdown. Just great read and well executed by the Canes.
5th touchdown of the year for Restrepo, 9th of his career. For the 4th-year junior from just down the road in Coconut Creek, Florida, where he grew up dreaming of playing for the Miami Hurricanes. Now he's one of their team captains.
And number 10, Ben Perry, is going to have a really difficult assignment. He's in coverage man-to-man, and he's 9 yards away from Restrepo. He's kind of a hybrid linebacker safety, so him in a one-on-one situation in man coverage against Restrepo is advantage Miami every single time on 3rd down, so they got to continue to take advantage of that matchup, and Van Dyke does right there with a nice completion.
Restrepo didn't have a catch last week. We talked to Mario Cristobal and Shannon Dawson. They both said it really wasn't his fault. He was open a lot. The quarterbacks just missed him. Only Malik Washington of Virginia has more catches than Restrepo's 60. 109 career catches for Xavier. Miami comes in losers of 2 in a row. And 4 of their last 6 after that 4-0 start and number 17 ranking. And their 2 wins in the last 6 were both in overtime here against Clemson and Virginia. Short kickoff down to Maurice Turner. Maurice Turner with some room. The kicker tries to cut him off, and he did. Not only did he took him down. And the Miami sideline liked the tackle. The Cardinals liked the return of 50 yards by Turner.
Maybe a little frustration there from Bullet Gallis, and he took it out on Turner. It was really well executed on the edge by Louisville's return team. There's absolutely nothing there, and always used to say the kickoff return team, especially on the road, is one of the most important groups. Sudden changer to start the half, right after you give up a touchdown, to steal momentum back away from the opposing team is huge.
Just the second kickoff return of the year for Turner. The other one went for 15 yards. Isaac Garendo, here he goes again. And collared out of bounds by James Williams, the safety, and their leading tackler at the 24-yard line. 21 on the play for Louisville.
And this is an awesome job by the right guard, Austin Collins. They have a little movement up front. He doesn't take the bait. He stays wide, engages with Besaint, and allows Garendo to get to the edge. Really well executed in the front by Collins, who's filling in for Renato Brown, who got hurt before the Pitt game. But, man, he has stepped in and filled some big shoes.
Yeah, they are now a very dynamic 1-2 punch. Surprise there as Plummer keeps it. Fake the reverse and went ahead for 6. He's a big guy, every bit of 6'5", 215 pounds.
Jeff Brom says he's not really a guy that's going to kill anyone with his legs, but if we can just get him 3 to 5 carries in the game, he'll play better. He'll settle in, and right there he gets one with a nice gain on first down.
And what he said was he wants him to take off running 3 to 5 times when there's nothing there, rather than force it someplace and throw an interception. Just pull it down and take off running. Under 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Garendo, transfer from Wisconsin. He gave the U of L their 31-24 lead in their last game. They rallied in the 4th quarter to beat Virginia 31-24. Last 2 games against Virginia Tech and Virginia, 240 yards rushing, 146 of those against the Hokies, a career high.
They're going to bring in Trevante Sylvester. Wears number 97, but he's actually a left tackle. Usually wears number 70. So bring in the extra lineman here on 3rd and short.
Play clock down to 3. Both teams took a while to substitute. Garendo, first down. Corey Flagg made the tackle.
There's a lot of movement being called by Jeff Brom in the pre-snap. Cross the ball motions, misdirections, a run that looks like it's going to go to the left, but it actually bends back to the right. He has this very aggressive Miami defense flowing in one direction only to go back the other way. It's really kept them off guard for the most part.
Under a half minute to go in the quarter. 14-7 Miami. They've scored 14 unanswered. Here's Garendo to tie the game, pending the extra point. Besaint missed the tackle, and nobody else got close to Garendo. His 5th touchdown now in the last 3 games.
And a little counter action, GT counter, a play that Florida State actually hit Miami on last week. It was a touchdown to Benson. It actually bent back to the other side. This time Garendo stays play side. It's well executed against an all-out pressure from Lance Guidry, and there's nobody home as he walks into the end zone.
Travelstead ties it. 12-yard touchdown for Garendo. He had 4 carries for 39 on that drive, and a touchdown scoring machine lately. ABC has a Pac-12 showdown tonight in prime time. 7:30. Number 5 Washington undefeated, but an underdog against number 11 Oregon State in Corvallis. The Huskies 10-0. And the Beavers are 8-2. A terrific first season at Oregon State for DJ Uiagalelei, the transfer from Clemson.
He's done a great job. That's a run-heavy offense. It's going to be a fascinating matchup tonight. Oregon State wants to pound the football and set up play action, and DJ Uiagalelei has really flourished in Jonathan Smith's offense, but Washington struggles on defense. It's going to be interesting to see if they can play keep away from Michael Penix, one of the Heisman frontrunners.
Obviously being undefeated, but not in the top 4 in the college football playoff ranking, they can't afford a loss, you would think. Although a lot of football still to be played. So after Plummer made the mistakes that they're hoping he'll avoid, they got the ball back, and all 5 plays on that touchdown drive for Louisville were runs. Last 3 games all win, 117 runs and only 54 passes for Louisville. And it's working well. The kickoff's a touchback, and here's Kevin.
Sean, note Jim Harbaugh on the sidelines, number 3 Michigan at Maryland, and guess what, Boog? The running game.
No doubt. In the latest episode of Michigan versus everybody, Maryland is in the way.
Blake Corum, his 19th touchdown. The Wolverines on top 7-3. Back to you.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. Louisville, as we said earlier, given up only 7 points all season in the first quarter. That was at Pitt, and their only loss. They've yielded 14 today. Jeff Brom has won the toss now 9 of 11 times this year. He has deferred every time. And the opponents had not scored and still haven't scored in their opening possession this season. The defense gets immediate stops. They get the ball to the offense, and they jump out to leads. Donald Chaney, the running back, stopped by Stanquan Clark on what will be the last play of the first quarter. For Louisville, it's win and go on to Charlotte and play in the championship game in the ACC. Our coverage on ABC returns after this word from our ABC stations.
Is benching. What have you seen from Tyler Van Dyke so far today?
Very decisive, very accurate. It's been a great leader. We've got to continue getting hot, got to continue staying hot, I should say.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Van Dyke playing well in the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive game of the week. To the second quarter we go. Miami and Louisville tied at 14. If Louisville wins, they'll clinch second place in the ACC. Van Dyke's pass batted down by the safety Cameron Kelly.
Cameron Kelly coming right off the edge. Van Dyke trying to get it to Restrepo. And Kelly goes up, knocks it down. Well timed on the pressure by the safety.
Miami 2 out of 3 so far on third down. Van Dyke 4 for 7 passing for 99, a touchdown, no turnovers. Henry Parrish, who's been injured lately, is on the field at running back. Here comes a blitz. And Van Dyke got it off incomplete, trying to get it to Cam McCormick. In his 8th year in college football, first here at Miami after 7, with a lot of injuries at Oregon.
And a well-timed pressure by Ron English, the defensive coordinator. Henry Parrish tries to save it late, but it forces Van Dyke to get off his spot, tries to find an outlet. Just not enough there for the Canes. That was well executed by the Louisville defense.
Dylan Joyce to punt again. Kevin Coleman back for it, standing at his own 35. Good kick. Coleman dragged down. Looks like they'll mark it around the 27-yard line. 50-yard punt by Joyce. Plenty of height as well. This season, All-State will celebrate every field goal and extra point made by participating universities by making a donation to the university's general scholarship fund. Thank you, All-State. Pretty even game to this point. Seconds into the second quarter. Jawar Jordan in the backfield with Dwayne Martin. There's a fullback and tight end. There's a flag down at the line of scrimmage, and the throw incomplete. Intended for Jaden Thompson. Looked like Miami was offside. Corey Flagg in particular.
Offside. Defense, number 11. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
You might say Corey was flagged. I wish you had said that. These two coaches with a lot in common. Mario Cristobal and Jeff Brom, each head coach at his alma mater. They are two of the 19 head coaches leading their school's football programs as grads. Two of the 10 in Power 5 football. Jawar Jordan, the ball carrier. And they'll go quickly to the line of scrimmage. There's the list. If you're Evelyn Wood, you'll get it all. If not, we'll come back to it. Jordan tripped up. Looked like he might get to the corner, but Kiko Mauinoa said no, forcing a third down and about 2.
Excellent play there by Mauinoa. Jawar Jordan makes a living getting outside the tackles, and no one can catch him, but a good shoestring tackle there by Mauinoa to drop him short of the sticks.
Third down and 2. They're 1 out of 2 on third down. They had the big fourth down conversion, did Louisville in the first quarter. Plummer sent Jordan in motion. Wide open receiver, and it's dropped. It wasn't a great throw by Josh Lifson, one of their tight ends. They ordinarily don't throw it to the tight end often. They have so far here today. He was wide open. That should have been a third down conversion.
I mean, wide open. I mean, easy throw for Jack Plummer. Just get it up around his face mask, but it comes out of his hand a little strange. Nose down. That's so hard. It's like trying to catch a sinker if you're a catcher in baseball.
Not a great throw.
2 now on Plummer that he's missed really low, that's resulted in incompletions.
Brady Hodges is the punter. And that is a line drive. Takes a good bounce. Rashad Smith got away from it. Pondered picking it up for a moment. Wound up with a good roll for Louisville. 47-yard punt. Here's the list of head coaches at their alma maters. List that includes Jim Harbaugh, but obviously not on the sidelines today.
It's got to be such an honor to coach at your alma mater. I know Jeff Brom, being a guy that grew up in Louisville, is so proud. And Mario Cristobal coming home.
Grew up in Miami.
Also from the area, and both trying to revitalize programs that have had a lot of success over the years, but had some mixed results in recent years.
Both fine players as well. Jeff Brom, two-time team MVP for Coach Howard Schnellenberger, quarterback. Mario Cristobal, a standout offensive lineman on 2 national championship teams. He played for Jimmy Johnson and Dennis Erickson. Colby Young the catch, and 7 yards on first down for the U.
Another hit on Tyler Van Dyke there. The interior of the offensive line so far for Miami has had a little bit of trouble with the athleticism of the defensive tackles from Louisville. That's been 3 or 4 hits already on Van Dyke. They need to do a better job of protection and give him a little time.
Should be a cohesive offensive line. The same 5 have started every game. One of only 11 teams in the country to do that. Quick screen. Colby Young another catch for 6 and a first down. Molly.
Sean, on the sidelines, Tyler Van Dyke was walking gingerly, favoring his right leg. He told us in October he suffered a rare leg injury called a Morel-Lavelle lesion, where the skin separated from the muscle and fat layer on his right leg from the knee down.
Ooh. Henry Parrish, the catch, and I know you have more on that. Extremely painful, and he hasn't made a big deal of it, but you'd have to think that has something to do with the drop-off on his play.
Yeah, Sean, it's an injury most commonly seen in high-velocity traumas like car accidents. It causes extreme pain and swelling, and he admitted it's hampered his ability to make plays outside of the pocket. He refuses to make excuses, but it is bothering him today.
It's off to a good start. 7 out of 11. Another short pass to Colby Young. Jalen Alderman made the tackle. 4-yard gain for Young, who's been the featured receiver on this possession for Miami.
Yeah, it's good to get him going too, because they've already gotten Restrepo involved. Colby George with the big play on the post, and now the third head of the 3-headed monster, a wide receiver, starting to get going. And Colby Young at 6'5" is a guy that you really want to get involved, especially in the red zone.
There's 3 catches in the game, all on this possession for the Hurricanes, facing 3rd down and 5. With a bunch to Van Dyke's right. A blitz came from that direction. Here's Restrepo. First down and much more into Louisville territory. To the Cardinal 46.
Beautiful route by Restrepo. Looks like it's going to be an option. He fakes to the inside and works all the way back out. But as soon as the defenders flow over the top, he turns back inside for a nice run after catch.
4 catches, 73 for Restrepo. Dumped off short to Parrish, who got belted by Cameron Kelly. Some uncharacteristic poor tackling for Louisville here in the first half. Some of it might be the field. You can see little clumps. We did have some morning rain here.
And there are going to be some issues in the back end for Louisville. They're excellent at corner, with Quincy Riley being one of the best. But at safety, they have had some inconsistencies. They lost MJ Griffin, who was their best safety in fall camp, and Cameron Kelly and Devin Neal have done a decent job. It's a tough matchup against Miami's wideouts.
There's the first run after 6 straight passes on this drive for Miami. Mark Fletcher. Running backs pretty much even now in the estimation of Coach Cristobal. He talked to us the other day. He hadn't really decided who would be the lead guy today. Would be Fletcher, Parrish, or Chaney. And they seem pretty interchangeable after watching Miami several times this year.
Pretty good group of backs, but Fletcher in time with his size-speed combination, he's got a chance to be special.
He's the back now. He's 6'2", 225. One of the top recruits in the country, part of this glittering freshman class for Miami. And he did not get the first down. It'll be 4th down and a little less than 2. Quincy Riley, Devin Neal combining on the play for the Cardinals. And they're going to go for it on 4th down.
Based on the 3rd down call, it's almost like that was a decision that was made a couple plays ago. Conservative up the middle with extra tackle in the game. Now in short yardage, you would expect much of the same.
And it's a long one, closer to 1.5 yards. Heavy formation with Fletcher the back. They sell out on the run, does Louisville, and they can't stop Fletcher. They got the first down with about 1.5 yards to spare.
And a great run here by Fletcher. It's the exact same play that they ran before, but this time it gets cut off to the front side. Fletcher cuts it back just a little bit and finds just enough room to pick up the first down. Got to be careful here if you're Louisville, because this is a spot on the field plus territory where Miami will try to take a shot. Let's see if Tyler Van Dyke goes with a heavy play action. See if they can't hit one down the field.
Eight minutes to go in the half. It is a play fake. He is looking deep down the field for Young. A leaping attempt, and he couldn't get it. Just over his head. Storm Duck had the coverage. And the Miami partisans wanted a flag on Duck.
Full play action. 10 men that are in there in the box. Only one guy on the route over the top.
I think the crowd has a point.
There was a lot of contact there at the end with Storm Duck, as Van Dyke again getting a big hit delivered to him as he releases the football.
By Mason Reiger. Yeah, that could have easily been a penalty on Duck. That ends a string of 6 straight completions for Tyler Van Dyke. On the reverse, Brashard Smith. Touchdown! He got a great block from the freshman tackle, Francis Maui-Noa. 34 yards, the U back on top.
Oh my goodness, if you're Maui-Noa, this is what you dream of. You get an opportunity to go against a defensive back in the open field, and look at him, boom! Sit down, my friend, and watch your wide receiver take it right into the end zone. Yeah, that's a pancake right there, ladies and gentlemen. How about the block by the freshman?
5-star recruit out of IMG Academy here in Florida, originally from American Samoa. What a star he's going to be. Mario Cristobal said he's super smart and super tough. I think he can add super mobile and super talented as well. The extra point puts the Canes back up by 7 midway through the second quarter.
A moment ago, Jacoby George might have gotten away with a holding here working against Storm Duck. Brashard Smith is up inside, but look, as Brashard Smith goes, Jacoby George's left hand is grabbing the right shoulder pad of Storm Duck, and as he tries to disengage, it looked like he was holding a lot of jerseys, so might have gotten away with one there.
Well, Matt Austin, our referee, thinks it was definitely a hold. The kickoff is a touchback by Borregales. Here's Kevin Nagandi.
Sean, AT&T's keeping fans connected as we take a look at our multi-view, which is showcasing a bunch of great games and events across all our networks here. And let's go to the 4-box and take a look at some of these games. We got BYU and Oklahoma right now. That is a commercial break. Oklahoma doubling up BYU in the second quarter over on ESPN. SMU with a 4-point lead over Memphis over on ESPN2. Ole Miss only up a touchdown on the SEC network, and East Carolina Navy a touchdown separating them on ESPN News. Back to you.
All right, Kevin, thank you. It's the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive game of the week. Louisville trying to go to the ACC Championship game with a win today. Plummer throws deep and way out of bounds over the head of Amari Huggins-Bruce with Cam Kitchens in coverage. We should mention that North Carolina and Virginia Tech are the other two teams still alive with a chance at the second spot in the title game in the ACC and a matchup with Florida State. But if Louisville wins today, they go for the first time in school history. They've been in since 2014. Went 7-1 in the league in 2016, but didn't make it to the title game. Isaac Garendo has a first down with an 11-yard catch and run.
Love that play there by Jeff Brom. Quarterback's been a little bit off the mark at times, and get him back into the game by moving the pocket just a little bit. Easy completion in the direction of his throwing arm and get the offense started again.
Garendo, huge hole right side. Across midfield and out of bounds at the 47-yard line. 17-yard run for Garendo.
And a really nice job by the left guard, Michael Gonzalez, having to reach that defensive tackle inside Branson Dean, and Garendo cuts right off that block and makes another nice play. Pretty good surge so far running the football from Louisville's offensive line.
Brian Brom, the coordinator, said we like our offensive line. 11.2 today per carry for Garendo after he averaged more than 14 yards per carry in the previous two against Virginia Tech and Virginia. Plummer, crowd thinks they saw a hole. Plummer got it off, incomplete, out of bounds, far sideline. Nate Kariski couldn't corral it in bounds. Second down and 10. And timeout called. Or perhaps a replay review. Wonder if they're going to take a look at that catch.
Under further review.
See if Kariski actually caught it on the far sideline.
Right out of bounds.
Goodyear, Georgia with a test, you would think, at Tennessee, although Tennessee got smashed by Missouri last week. Alabama off and running, hoping that there's a little movement ahead of them, so open the door.
Need a little help for sure, and Iowa State can do their part tonight and remove that roadblock that is Texas, who has that head-to-head win against the Tide.
Of course, it's looking like perhaps a winner-take-all in the SEC championship game, Georgia and Alabama. On second down and 10, not much there for Isaac Garendo. A 1-yard gain. Branson Dean made the tackle. He is a transfer to Miami from Purdue, where he played for Jeff Brom.
He's given them some good reps there on the interior. And having lost Nigel Lee Kelly and Mesidor on the edges, they really needed the guys inside to step up, and Branson Dean has answered that challenge.
Branson Dean is in his 7th year of college football. Started 26 games for Coach Brom at Purdue. 3rd down and 9. They're not in field goal range. Deep drop. Plummer lots of time and has his man for a 1st down. To the 32-yard line of Miami. Chris Bell with his first catch of the day. Good for 14.
And this is a really well-timed throw by Jack Plummer. The protection was good. They brought a little late pressure. You got man coverage underneath, and you're able to hit Bell right there, your big body receiver over the middle of the field in front of some defenders. That was well executed by the Cardinals.
They like the crossers against man coverage. Most teams do. Isaac Garendo inside the 29-yard line. He's up to 61 yards on 7 carries. And it helps because, as Molly said, Jawar Jordan still feeling some pain in his legs. Battled hamstring and knee injuries lately.
Early in the season, there was a significant drop-off when Jawar Jordan was not on the field, but Garendo has done a great job these last few games creating some big plays.
5-man rush. They got in the face of Plummer. Throws it up for grabs. It was caught, but out of bounds, say the officials. Damari Brown, the true freshman, had the coverage on Chris Bell. The side judge, Jerry Walter, right there to say incomplete.
And it was a really well-thrown ball. It looks like that right foot is in. Does he secure the catch before that right foot drops down? Now he feels like that ball is still moving just a little bit as he reels it in with one hand, but that was a heck of an effort by Bell and a well-thrown football by Jack Plummer. Not a lot of room on the sideline. Looks like that ball's secure right there against
trapped
his chest.
against his chest. I don't see it moving around.
Yeah, I think that might be overturned.
They're going to look at it. We'll get Matt Austin's opinion when we come back. The call overturned. This is a catch, Matt Austin. You agree?
I do. I think this is a really nice overturn by the replay booth. He definitely got the ball pinned against his chest, brought the other hand up, got the right foot down in bounds. To me, that's firm control, body part. It's a catch.
Amazing
Good
catch.
call.
Amazing catch there.
Yeah, the ball moves, but he's just tucking it away. I mean, he didn't lose control of it. He's just tucking it under his arm to get greater possession of it. So it's a 22-yard play to Bell, who has 2 catches on this drive, his first 2 of the day. 1st and goal, Louisville, 4:10 to go. In the first half, they're trying to tie the game. Play action pass, and the pass too high for Jamari Thrash. Playing with a severely injured hand. Just the 3rd time he's been targeted here in the first half. Their leading receiver for the year.
Man, he's got plenty of separation too. That ball way overthrown by Plummer. Got to give your receiver a chance and lead him to the front pylon. Just a bad miss there by the quarterback. It would have been an easy touchdown.
And you know, when he's been counseled, you know, don't make the mistake, don't turn it over, don't throw an interception. He's going to be extra careful. 10th play of the drive. Design roll to the right, and he had to throw it away with pressure coming. There's Corey Flagg in hot pursuit of Jack Plummer, not related to Jake Plummer.
Well covered there too by Corey Couch. The nickel and star for the Miami defense. Probably been their most consistent cover guy all year long there in the slot. No separation there as Plummer has to wisely throw it away.
Garendo, the running back. Plummer forced back. Waving receivers around and again throws it away. Didn't want to force one into the end zone. It was Kinko Maui Noah who put the late pressure on Plummer. So Jeff Brom at 1st and goal from the 7. They'll have to settle for a field goal try.
This is a missed opportunity here. He's got Jimmy Callaway underneath on a slant. They go with a little bit of a rub route. He's wide open. I mean, he's got to be on him right now. And he falls into the end zone. I mean, he's open. You got to get rid of the football. So a bad sequence there by Plummer is going to lead Louisville to having to settle for 3.
Here's Brock Travelstead. 24-yard attempt. And a problem last week on a snap and hold in their game against Virginia. Clean operation there, and he still missed it wide to the right. Oh, chip shot. So they had first and goal at the 7, and they come away with nothing. 3:42 to go. First half, Mario Cristobal and Miami still up 21-14. You're watching ESPN's Afternoon College Football Saturday, presented by Dayquil. Jack Plummer played for Jeff Brom at Purdue before transferring to Cal and then rejoining Coach Brom here at Louisville. Jack told us one of the things he noticed this year is Jeff Brom's a little less fiery and on the sideline, not quite as animated toward the quarterback, but not there. He didn't like, and I wonder, Greg, as it was Chaney who just carried on first down, when you get coached, don't make the big mistake. Clearly they want Plummer to cut down on the interceptions. Can that make you a little gun shy when you're down around the goal line like that?
Absolutely. And when you're thinking don't screw it up, don't screw it up, don't screw it up, you're going to be way too cautious. And there were 2 wide open receivers that could have easily resulted in a touchdown. His refusal to pull the trigger on the 3rd down and the errant throw on 1st down, I would imagine his cautiousness didn't help him there.
Van Dyke in the flat for Chaney, who goes out of bounds short of the 1st down.
And I can sympathize too, because I remember when I was playing in college, I mean, our whole approach was run the ball 1st down, run the ball 2nd down. Greg, don't screw it up on 3rd, and we'll be all right.
Yeah, but Nick Saban never yelled at you on the sideline.
There were times where I would check and see who was on the other sideline. If that was a nice coach, there were times I was thinking maybe I'd go over there. But I usually wound up heading over to the crimson and white side. My ear didn't always make it to the bench, though.
No.
That's for sure.
Jack Plummer can relate. There's 3rd down and 2. Would imagine Louisville might use the timeout on a stop. And they got the stop by not as much as they thought they would. Fletcher down. Ramon Puryear, the primary hit. And the clock is running.
Timeout, Louisville. That's their first charge timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
I think they lost a couple of seconds there. Jeff Brom might be asking about that. Yeah, they're going to put a couple seconds back. Here's Kevin.
Sean, Capital One halftime report just minutes away. Booger McFarland, Kevin Nagandi here in studio. 6 top 25 teams in action. Highlights of Michigan, Alabama, Penn State, Oklahoma coming your way. What are you seeing in this one? Because Louisville down a touchdown.
Both teams are running the ball well, averaging 6 yards a carry. You got 2 quarterbacks that are struggling with their confidence. Jack Plummer, inconsistent. Tyler Van Dyke was benched last week. So which quarterback can channel their inner Greg McElroy and get some confidence in the second half?
Greg, we promise we won't yell at you. Back to you.
I think they do that little hit right before halftime every week now just to take a shot at
it's just every time. It's just, you know it's coming. Build you up only to tear you down.
Do you want equal time? You want to fire something back? I would prepare something for next week.
There's too much material for Kevin and Boog. It's my guys, though. Even though Kevin dressed up like Joe Tessitore on Halloween and Boog decided to take Tuesday off, we're still on the good list with me.
Kevin, you didn't have anything prepared. That was a decent shot. Dylan Joyce, tumbling line drive kick away from Coleman. Good job by the Australian punter. 45-yard kick, no return. Back in 8 seconds after this from Ram Trucks.
Ram Trucks, built to serve.
I think every commercial should be 8 seconds. Right to the point. You remember it. Built to serve.
There you go.
Short and sweet. 2:16 to go. 2 timeouts for Louisville.
Please reset the game clock to 2:19. 2:19.
Well, I thought they reset it to 2:18 before the previous snap. So how did they gain a second?
The punt was -1 seconds hang time.
Thank you.
But I'll be curious to see how Jeff Brohm decides to handle this. So far, his quarterback a little off the mark, just 9 of 17. Did have the pick earlier too, and not great field position to try to steal some points.
Jawar Jordan chased out of bounds. They've gotten away from him, had 5 carries early. That's good for a 5-yard run. Plummer started 6 out of 7 for 58 yards. Since then, 3 out of 10 for the interception. And the interception, 47 yards since. Two minutes to go in the half. Jordan is a home run hitter. He has 2 rushes of 70 yards this season. Quick slant caught by Jimmy Callaway, the transfer from Tennessee. Damari Brown dumped him immediately, short of the first down. Third down and 1. What? Well, wait a minute. The officials with some confusion about whether that was a first down or not.
Looks like they're going to give it to him though, based on the late adjustment there.
Now they're going to have to look at this. That was not a first down.
It's a nice route.
Now, he never gets to the 33.
He's at the 31.5. The very furthest.
So now they'll have to go back, look at where the line of scrimmage should be. Mario Cristobal upset. He was plenty upset last week in Tallahassee about the play that they and just about everybody else watching thought was a safety against Florida State. It wasn't called a safety. You can see a little animation from the coaching staff on that sideline.
And what's frustrating too, I mean, at least they're going to get third and 1.5 yards or so after this overturn, but it gives Louisville plenty of time to kind of reset and talk about what they want to do in the event in which they get this first down. So
After further review, the ruling on the field was the ball carrier was down at the 32-yard line, one yard short of the line of the game. The third down at the 32-yard line. Please reset the play clock, the game clock to 1:52, and the clock will start on my signal on the left hash.
He does need to change the verbiage. It wasn't the ruling on the field. That's the third time he said that, when in fact the ruling on the field's been overturned. So it's third down and 1. Louisville at its own 32. 1:52 to go in the half, and if Miami gets a stop, they might use the timeout.
I would imagine that they will, but if you're the offense here, you call your third down play, but you're actually calling 2 plays in the huddle. Say, hey, third down play is this, but if we get it, warp speed, and let's get going in this 2-minute drill.
And the down marker on the far side of the field has 4th down. And I think they're conferring now about what is the correct down. They've flipped it back to 3 now. Jawar Jordan, the running back. It looks like they're going to operate out of the pistol, at least as they line up.
Imagine a run to the left here behind Josh Lifton, their tight end.
Play fake to Jordan. It's the tight end Kariski who slipped down, but had enough for the first down. He's having a big day. 7 catches coming into today. He has 4 now to lead Louisville, including a touchdown. 1.5 minutes to go on the clock running. Plummer hit as he throws, got it off. Breaking a tackle is Callaway. Jimmy Callaway out of bounds at midfield to the Miami 49, in fact, with a first down.
Good job by Jack Plummer beating the pressure off the left-hand side, gets it out quickly to Callaway, who breaks a tackle and gets upfield and out of bounds. Excellent run after catch.
Plummer trying to get in the rhythm, has an open receiver in the flat. It's Jawar Jordan, chopped down at the 42 by Corey Couch.
Don't need to be in a crazy hurry here if you're Jack Plummer. You got plenty of room. I know you got to keep one of those timeouts for your kicker. You cannot take a sack. Absolutely no negative yardage plays in this situation.
Miami, that's their first charge timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Defense on its heels and scrambling a little bit, so Mario Cristobal with the timeout. Kick off your Week 11 NFL Sunday, 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. The Countdown Crew on ESPN and the app. They'll have all of the early breaking stories, injury updates, previews of each game right up until kickoff. And then Monday Night Football caps off your Week 11 in the National Football League. 8 p.m. Philadelphia and Kansas City. Super Bowl 57 rematch won by the Eagles. Peyton and Eli have the Manning cast.
Obviously an amazing Super Bowl and tremendous quarterback play on both sides. And Mahomes cementing his spot as one of the all-time greats already. Just 2 Super Bowl wins, a couple MVPs, pretty decent start to his career.
An interesting football game here, closely contested. Miami has a very good team. They're clearly on the way back up. Already 6 wins. That's one more than they had all of last year in Mario Cristobal's first season back at his alma mater as head coach. As he says, the place I love most. And this season could easily have been that much better. They gave 1 game away against Georgia Tech. Here's the quick run for a first down up the middle by Jawar Jordan. That was the game when all they had to do was take a knee and they'd be 5-0. But they didn't fumble, and Georgia Tech went down and scored. It's the only loss of the year here at home for Miami. They're 5-1 here. Not much there for Amari Huggins Bruce, and Louisville now will use one of its remaining 2 timeouts.
Timeout Louisville. That's their second charge timeout of the half.
For a guy who lost his suitcase, you look very sharp. And I couldn't scramble fast enough to get my jacket back on or fix my tie. I feel very badly underdressed right now.
You look tremendous
next to this GQ model. But we were saying a closely contested game. Miami liked their chances coming in here today against this Louisville team.
Yeah, as they should. They match up really well. They have excellent players along both lines of scrimmage. The big thing has been their quarterback. I mean, they have everything you could possibly want, except they've had a quarterback that's been really inconsistent. Even when Emory Williams stepped in last week, his ups and downs throughout the course of that ball game were very obvious. So that's really been the one thing holding him back. But so far, Van Dyke's done a good job distributing the football and been pretty accurate.
A nice bounce back story. Emory Williams supplanted him as the starter last week at Florida State. 19-year-old true freshman. Fought hard the entire game, and while lunging for a first down to keep their hopes alive, suffered a compound fracture of his left arm. They hope he'll be back by spring practice. 2nd and 6, Louisville, 43 seconds to go. We're at the Miami 32 on the edge of field goal range, and more comfortably into that now, and that's an incomplete pass. Jamari Thrash couldn't hang on, playing with that injured left hand. It's made it a little more inconsistent in terms of his catching the last few weeks.
And he's a great receiver, but the inconsistencies catching the football really hurt this team. That ball perfectly thrown by Plummer, and Thrash can't reel it in.
And you wonder if it's 4-down territory. Travelstead does have the leg to make it from here, but they've been shaky the last few weeks with the field goal unit, including just a moment ago when they missed a chip shot.
Previous play is under further review.
Now they're going to look to see if this was a catch by Jamari Thrash. He didn't argue very much when they waved it off. It's be our 4th replay review of the game already. No, he never had it.
No, right through his hands. Feel for Thrash. He's playing through a lot of pain with that injured hand and just can't reel it in.
And this is the 2nd stoppage where, it's been very clear that the call on the field was correct. The other one was the Kariski catch out of bounds, which we didn't bother showing you for a second time, but it was very clearly a catch out of bounds, and the replay wasn't necessary.
Right here, if you're Louisville, you know this is going to be incomplete.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Incomplete pass. Third down.
And if you're Jeff Brom, you're talking to Jack Plummer. You're anticipating pressure. Lance Guidry's going to bring the house here. More than likely, he's bringing heat to try to knock you out of field goal range. So, what are our blitz beaters? Do I want to go max protection? Do I want to run some kind of screen? Do I want to get something that's out into the open field that gets the ball out of my quarterback's hand really quickly? Because this tendency, this down and distance in this spot of the field with this situation, all signs point to pressure being called by the Miami defense.
They have blitzed with regularity throughout. 3rd down and 6. 1 timeout left for Louisville, 2 for Miami. And now the Canes are going to stop the clock.
Miami, the second charge timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Chico Mauinoa, what an addition he's been for Mario Cristobal. Transferred here from Washington State so he could play with his brother, the true freshman, tremendous right tackle, Francis Mauinoa. And he's their number 2 tackler for the year after a couple of seasons at Washington State.
Yeah, he's been terrific. And Mauinoa family, they don't need to make any donations to the U. They've given them 2 outstanding players on both sides of the ball.
Basically, Kiko is going to transfer wherever his brother decided to play college football because the family all wanted to be together. South Florida is not a bad place to spend a few years together as a family.
Amazing spot. And Mauinoa is their best blitzer. So I would anticipate number 51 for Miami bringing the heat here on Jack Plummer. See if they can't knock him out of field goal range.
North Carolina, Clemson coming up on ESPN in the next window. Tar Heels desperately hoping for a Miami win here to keep their hopes of the championship game alive. Plummer in the flat, man open, caught, running room, and a good tackle made on Chris Bell by Jadis Richard. Because if he doesn't make that tackle, there's a lot more space to cover for Bell. They settle for 12.
Excellent job of protection there by Louisville's offensive line as well. Against the heat, they gave him plenty of time to let that shallow cross clear.
Plummer pulled it down and then lofted it incomplete. There is a flag down. It might have been a late hit on the quarterback.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 44. Defense, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Ruben Bain, one of the great freshman defensive linemen in the country.
And he's working inside against Brian Hudson. Looks like as he's trying to swat at the football, he kind of hits Plummer in the helmet a little bit there, kind of along the right cheek, and it didn't look like forcible contact to the head. I don't think I agree with that call.
Lance Guidry, the defensive coordinator, certainly doesn't like it, and it's a big call. It gives them a first down and goal now, right on the 10. 17 seconds. They have the 1 timeout. Plummer looking to the sideline for some guidance. Jaward Jordan, the running back. Miami showing blitz. They bring pressure. Jordan runs past it and gets stopped at the 1. Huge tackle by Cam Kitchens. And now Louisville will use its last timeout.
Timeout Louisville. That's their 3rd and final charge timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Enormous tackle by the junior from Miami, Cam Kitchens.
It looked like Jawar Jordan was going to walk in, and it was well done there as Couch and Kitchens join up. So you look at the progressive pylon cam, a good shot right down the line as Jawar Jordan clearly short. And now you're in a bind as a play caller. You're out of timeouts.
You have to throw it, don't you?
You have to. It's a little
if you
bit.
run it, you don't get it, you're done.
It's a little bit like the situation when the Seattle Seahawks were playing against Tom Brady, and they had to throw it as opposed to hand it to Marshawn Lynch because they only had 1 timeout, and still had 2nd and 3rd down to
there
play.
There are a lot of Seahawks fans who said they didn't have to throw it.
Well,
a lot of Patriot fans who are very glad they did.
Fair enough. It obviously resulted in another ring for Tom Brady, but you're in a bit of a bind here. You have to throw it. You can throw it twice more than likely. I would anticipate similar play to what Joe Montana threw a touchdown to Dwight Clark on, except that's the secondary option. You want to get that guy in the flat initially. It's called sprint right Q8.
You think this play will rival one of the most important in the history of football by the time it's run?
The same play, not necessarily the same level of impact. Unless Louisville punches their way to the playoff, which is certainly in the realm of possibility. But I would go sprint right Q8, sprint right option. See if you can't get a little bit of a rub and a guy into the flat where it's a nice easy throw on the run for Jack Plummer.
Isaac Garendo has come in at running back. 2nd and goal. 12 seconds to go. Louisville does not have a timeout. 11th play of the drive. Martin moves to the fullback. They shifted Kariski to the right. Plummer, wide open receiver, caught for a touchdown. And it's Trevante Sylvester, ordinarily the offensive lineman, who they put in on the goal line in the heavy package. At 6'6", 280, he has to switch numbers from 70 to 97 to be eligible, and he was all alone.
Just an amazing design. You have overload, guys standing on the right-hand side that are ineligible. They're covered up, but you don't recognize that. You just see a big body with 2 knee braces on. You're thinking, this guy's blocking. He releases, and he's wide open for the touchdown. Probably something they've been working on for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Oh, boy, the extra point is deflected and missed. And now the kicking situation is very problematic for Jeff Braun.
Looked like it was number 81, Jared Harrison Hunt, who got an arm up to block what was a very, very low kick. Saves a point for Lance Guidry's defense.
And it protects the lead for Miami. That could loom large going forward. Was a low kick, and Harrison Hunt is a big man, 6'4", 285. Out of Christ the King High School in the New York City area. Basketball power. As a matter of fact, Harrison Hunt only played 2 years of high school football. He was focused on basketball.
Every time the kicker goes back after a block, he said, I hit it perfect. That guy just made a great play. No,
that looked low.
I would say that ball, if it didn't hit his left guard in the back, it's going to hit the Miami defender, Harrison Hunt, who made a nice deflection.
So 11 plays, 77 yards for the touchdown. First career catch from Sylvester. Squib kick. Ray Joseph stood up at the 32-yard line. There is a time, but there is time for a play. Coming up this afternoon over in the ACC network. It's the ACC huddle at 6:30 after the NC State Virginia Tech game. The Hokies still alive in the race to get to Charlotte for the title game. Then it's Syracuse and Georgia Tech at 8. After the game, stay with the ACC Network for a full post-game show. I have not given up on the Orange making this ACC title game this year, even though they have been mathematically eliminated. I hold out hope.
Well, for the Harvard of Western New York,
well, when they factor in the academic points, some sort of formula that I would like to propose.
And maybe the APR will be the differentiator. Maybe that'll
what
be
do we
the
think this is about?
Time left on the clock, perhaps.
No, I think there might be a targeting on that big hit that we mentioned.
Ooh,
Trey Franklin.
Trey Franklin, as he's going in, he initiates that contact with the crown of the helmet. That is going to be targeting.
Matt Austin, what say you?
I agree with Greg 100%. He lowers his head, comes in, attacks with force, crown of the helmet right to basically to the helmet. So yes, I think this is going to be targeting.
So good pickup by Mike Shepard in the replay booth, and Franklin likely gone for the rest of this one.
Further review, personal foul, targeting, number 28, kicking team, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic first down. Number 28 is disqualified for the remainder of the game.
He's a backup defensive back, but he plays significant snaps on defense, and as you just saw, he's a special teams player as well.
Another thing that's significant about that now, I mean, Miami with the ball near midfield.
You can heave it. And Van Dyke could get it to the end zone, I would think, from here.
62, 63 yards in the air. And, of course, big thing is the protection. Do you have enough time to hold up to allow the receivers to run 60 yards downfield, 54 yards downfield or so?
Well, they're only going to rush 3. Louisville playing without Jarvis Brownlee, who has been a starting cornerback for most of the year, but battling foot and ankle injuries in recent weeks. He's not dressed today. So they are thin now in the secondary. Van Dyke gets it down to the end zone, batted down, incomplete on what should be the last play of the half. There are no flags. And it's halftime. And Van Dyke limping toward the Miami locker room. He went 11 for 17 in the first half for 141 and a touchdown. Jack Plummer 16 for 25, 152, 2 TDs, 1 interception. Here's Molly.
Coach, what's your reaction to that targeting call on Trey Franklin?
In the conference standings and play Florida State in the title game, but right now down by a point, Greg McElroy, in large part due to some mistakes.
Yeah, interception thrown by Plummer. Bad throw, bad decision that led to a Restrepo touchdown. A couple errant throws in the red zone then led to this field goal attempt, which sailed a little bit to the wide right. And then a low kick resulted in a missed extra point there at the end of the half. So they've had several self-inflicted mistakes that have led to this early deficit.
Yeah, and Jeff Brom was asked about it by Molly on the way off the field, concerned about the kicking game. He should. They had a problem with the snap last game against Virginia, never got a kick off. Travelstead missed one left, then he pushes one right today, then a low one. You know, when the misses are all over the place, as we know from golf, then it's really in your head.
I'm afraid. All too well. But I do think they're running the ball pretty well. They need to get back to doing that. Plummer, for the most part, has been okay. He hasn't been great. I think they had a good plan early, and then Miami kind of figured it out a bit. But they had a nice answer at the end of half where they stole some points, and now they get the ball coming out in the second to see what adjustments they've made.
Short kickoff by Andy Borregales was fielded on the run by Isaac Guerrero. And good starting field position for Louisville after a 20-yard return. They'll begin at the 33-yard line. Plummer 16 out of 25. He did rally back from the interception. Threw 2 touchdown passes. It's his 4th game this season with multiple touchdown passes, including back-to-back games. Did it in their come-from-behind win against UVA. They start with a run for Guerrero. That was last Thursday night. They had a couple of extra days to get ready for this game, which Jeff Brom appreciated. Gave his team a little extra rest, which everybody could use at this time of the year.
A couple guys a little banged up too, so giving them some extra time to get healthy, especially Jamari Thrash, is of the utmost importance.
Yeah, Thrash still not fully effective with the injured hand. There's Chris Bell. And that's enough for a first down on his 4th catch of the day. This one for 10 yards.
That's a part here in the second half that they're going to have to continue to try to take advantage of. Some of the perimeter throws. Miami's really conscientious against the run, so you're going to have some isolations outside. You just got to beat that coverage with good timing, and Plummer did so there on the hitch.
Play fake to Guerrero. Plummer takes off running. And that probably falls into that category that Jeff Brom spoke to Plummer about a few times. 3 to 5 times a game. Take off running when there's nothing there.
Don't try to force anything. It was pretty well defended. Thought he might have had the flat early, but didn't like it initially. Get what you can, live to play second down.
Louisville with a win would play Florida State for the championship game in the ACC. We have 1 game left after today. It's their rivalry game in state against Kentucky. Spinning away Guerrero. His latest long run all the way to the 30-yard line of Miami. 26 yards for Guerrero.
And it looked like he was going to be stopped in the backfield. Branson Dean was in there. The Saint was in there as well. Kind of spun out of it, and nobody was home. But good job breaking through those tackles in the backfield and finding some open space on the edge.
Boy, he's good for double digits on just about every carry these last few games. 9 for 87 yards rushing today. Strange looking handoff there. Plummer trying to fake the run. They weren't fooled. Jacob Lichtenstein, who's changed numbers from 55 to 86. He's a 7th-year senior, which means he's a relative newcomer to college football in this day and age. Played for a while at USC. 3-yard loss on that one. And again, they're on the fringe of field goal range. Plummer on target. And trying to break free is Joey Gatewood, who was yanked down by Cam Kitchens. 3rd down and almost 3. A 10-yard completion to the former Auburn quarterback. Started his college career at Auburn, one of the most highly recruited players in the country, coming out of Jacksonville, Florida. And now Louisville is 4th school. He's made a nice conversion to tight end, still learning. They think he might be a pro with his athletic ability, and you wonder what's going through Travelstead's mind. Probably please get the first down. Plummer single coverage for Thrash. Some hand fighting with Damari Brown in coverage. Incomplete pass. And here comes the field goal team.
Throw just a little off the mark here from Plummer, trying to throw him to the outside. He's working against the freshman Damari Brown, and the ball's just way too wide. Can't really adjust to it far enough. Really got to give your receiver a chance. Let him go up and high point that ball. And
new kicker here, Greg. It is not Travelstead. It is Nick Lopez, a 5th-year senior who has not attempted a field goal this year. He might have a new job. That was about as perfect as it could be from 40 yards. And Louisville has a 2-point lead. First lead since they were up 7-0. Everything about the operation there was perfect. Snap, hold, and kick by Lopez. Tonight, the rock stars of F1 racing take over Sin City. Don't miss the Las Vegas Grand Prix tonight at 11:30 on ESPN. Additional coverage on ESPN Plus in Deportes in English and Spanish. Travelstead's kickoff is a touchback. Molly.
Well, Sean, Miami offensive coordinator Shannon Dawson came out of the locker room and immediately said to me, Tyler Van Dyke is smiling more today. He plays better when he smiles more. And head coach Mario Cristobal agreed, saying Van Dyke is in a great head space. This is the best that we've seen from him in a long time. He's seeing the field well, great decision making. And he told Van Dyke in the locker room, this is a game that we should win. I need you to dig deep. We'll need you to be special, but stay composed in the second half, guys.
Most importantly, mistake-free. No turnovers. Miami has not turned it over. Louisville's turned it over once. Out wide it goes to Brashard Smith. And a good tackle in the open field. Cameron Kelly was there with help from Jalen Alderman. Emory Williams
looking on. Of course, broke his arm last week against Florida State. But Van Dyke, another example of that decision making. Right there, didn't force anything in there. It was well defended. It was well covered. Just take your outlet, see what he does with it. Still an example of him going through his progression and making a good choice on the throw.
Mark Fletcher, the running back. Quick throw the other way. Colby Young that stood up and knocked down by Cameron Kelly. 4-yard gain. Kelly, a transfer from North Carolina, where he played in 42 games for the Tar Heels. Trying to keep his old team out of the ACC title game with a win for Louisville today.
3rd down for Miami. It's really been all about Xavier Restrepo. He's down here in the slot. He's their go-to guy. He's the toughest mismatch for Louisville's defense. Let's see if they look in his direction.
Miami 3 out of 7 on 3rd down,